Ashlyn Kite-Hartwick with CASE, the Kansas Association for Conservation and Environmental Education, and I'm excited to be here today with Jessica Mounts for our video series on our local Kansas water resource professionals in the state. So we're going to be talking with Jessica and others about how their job and what they do connects to water quality and water conservation. So Jessica, if you want to go ahead and share a little bit about where you work, your position there, and what you do.
Sure.
All right.
I work for the Kansas Alliance for Wetlands and Streams. I am the executive director. We're a nonprofit organization, and in a nutshell, we connect people with conservation practices to enhance water quality and protect water quantity and do water conservation projects.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you do what you do, or why you chose the field that you're in.
Sure. So ever since I was a little girl, I have always been playing in the water, and I don't like to grow up. I don't want to grow up, and so I still play in the water a lot. When I was young, I would convince my parents to let me go play out in the rain through all kinds of crazy plans and schemes. I would convince them to let me do that. And when I was about 10 years old, I was given my first microscope, and after that I spent almost every day hoping for rain so that I could collect water out of the puddles in our yard and look at all the tiny little organisms that were living in the water. And so that kind of led me to eventually to my career. And when I went to college, I really didn't think that I would ever get to have a job that allowed me to play in the water, but now I have that job, and that's why that's one of the reasons that I do what I do, because I really have loved it my whole life.
Awesome. So what would you say is the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is that there is no typical day. I could be anywhere from knee deep in the mud wearing a pair of waders, sweating, covered in fish slime and smelling like fish, to wearing a suit and heels and testifying at a hearing at the Capitol. So there's never any way to expect what is going to happen that day, and every day is a new day. Every day is full of unexpected stuff, so you never get bored.
Awesome. So you talked a little bit about this, but if you could tell us a little more about how the work that you do helps to improve water quality and water conservation.
Sure. So when we're working with landowners or farmers and people that live in Kansas to protect water quality and do water conservation, we are connecting them with education and experiences that inspire them to care about our water. A lot of times people kind of take water for granted. We turn on our water tap every morning and water comes out, and we can get a glass of water, we can take a shower, we can brush our teeth, and a lot of times we're disconnected from where that water actually comes from. So a lot of my job is actually reconnecting people with that water resource.
Awesome. And so what are the benefits and challenges to improving water quality and water conservation?
So everybody needs water. Every living thing needs water to survive. We are based on water. Our foundation of life is water, and so that's why it's so important to protect this resource. So those are the benefits, but the challenges to water conservation is that a lot of us, as I said before, are disconnected from that resource, and a lot of us are not able to actually get out there in that water or understand it. Sometimes we get busy and we're worried about other things, so a lot of times it's very difficult to reach out and remind people that their water is important. And we deal with so many different kinds of people who have come from different backgrounds and have different belief systems, and so we have to kind of work with all of them all together to talk about water.
Absolutely. So why is water conservation so important to you? Water conservation and water quality. Why is it so important to you?
Water conservation and water quality is so important to me because I want to leave this world better than I found it. I want my children to be able to experience the same things that I did. I want my grandchildren and their grandchildren to experience all those things. We are kind of in a crisis right now when it comes to water. There's a very strong possibility that we could run out of water in my lifetime in Kansas if we keep using water the way that we do, and if we don't change the way that we look at water. And so I don't want to see that, and I don't want my next generations to see that either. So it's definitely a lifelong passion for me to protect it.
Awesome. And so what would you want other Kansans, specifically Kansas kids, to know about water quality and water conservation?
Sure. So, as far as careers in water quality and water conservation, as you grow up, just remember that you can you can use all of your talents and any of your talents and all of your favorite things to protect water. As I said before, my job is full of the unexpected. But as I look back over my life and my career, everything that I have done, from loving art and being able to be creative, playing music, all of those things you can tie to water. So just remember that as you're making decisions, as you grow up and decide what you want to be when you grow up, if you decide to grow up, and you can combine anything with water.
Awesome. Jessica, thank you so much for being a part of our video series and for sharing with us today about water quality and water conservation and how it connects to your career. If you would like more information on KAWS, the Kansas Alliance for Wetlands and Streams, do we visit the website?
Yes, www.kaws.org, KAWS.org.
Perfect. And then if you want more information on KACEE, you can visit www.kacee.org.